Hello people of the internet. This is how slippery the new LG G7 is. Look how it slides off my laptop. Just look at it. Okay, so I'm gonna be doing a quick review after 1 week of use. I bought this LG G7 ThinQ about a week ago to replace my LG V30 of all things. I know the V series, the bigger one at LG is the superior one, but LG V40 is not going to be available in my region, so I decided, you know what, it's this year's phone, so I'm going to be upgrading to the G series instead of the V series. So I really quite like the hardware. It's the quality is it's very nice. It's this all glass sandwich front and back Gorilla Glass 5. And I went with this Moroccan blue color, which I like how it reflects in the light, but it's, as you can see, fingerprint magnet. It just won't stay clean. Yeah, so the form factor, I like, in comparison to my V30, that it's very reachable from one side to the other, so it's like the iPhone 10. It's narrower, but it's much more longer right now. On my V30, sorry, I could stretch my thumb and reach the notification area here, but I can't do this anymore with the G7. So I installed this additional home button in the UI so I can reach the notification. At least LG thinks about these things in their UI, and you can have this option. But yeah, while I like the form factor that it's narrower, it's more maneuverable with one hand and reach across the keyboard. But it's very tall. It's a very tall and narrow display. 18.1, 18.5 by 2 or something like that. It's very narrow. I don't even know if it's so usable as my V30, which was a bit shorter but wider, so you had like a more square, like a tablet, mini tablet in your hand, much more easier to read. And now when you read a book or something, it's a newspaper, it's much narrower. The text is much narrower, like the whole page, for example. You see, it doesn't go so long across. You lose some width in the screen. Yeah. Now it has a lot of buttons. It has the volume up and down on the side, and the new Google Assistant key, if you can see it here. And they also moved the power button from the fingerprint in the top, on the back. They put it on the side here, like every other normal phone, I would say. But this, yeah, I was quite longing for a side power button on my V30 and even on my G3 back in the days. I kind of don't like that it has a lot of buttons on the side anymore. The V30 only had 2 buttons, volume up and down, and everything was clean. You had the power button in the fingerprint button on the back, and you had these 2 volume up and down, and that was it. Much cleaner sides. Now it's like you have a lot of buttons. Like I accidentally push a lot of buttons all the time. Even either the power button or the Google Assistant button or the volume. It's just it seems too crowded for me now. Yeah, I like that they moved the headphone jack at the bottom compared to my V30. It was up here somewhere, and you always, when you put your phone, you just couldn't slide your phone in the pocket when you had a headphone jack. You had to like turn it around and then stick it in your pocket because the cable would. Yeah, so this was I much preferred here on the bottom, so I like that. USB Type C, of course. This is the new boombox that I installed. Like it's the new speaker that resonates the whole phone, and it's much more like louder and has more bass. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, they moved the. I like that they moved the SIM tray here on the top, and the micro SD card has the mic here, and has another one on the bottom. And another awkward thing for the selfie cam, they put it right dead center, but they moved the earpiece a little bit to the right. So now, when you put your phone on the ear, you have to be careful to move it a bit to center the earpiece on your ear. Otherwise, you won't be hearing. Like it's weird. It's weird how you have to, but you get used to it. I like that the cameras are very flush here with the body. There's almost no. You see, it's like a 0.23 millimeters, almost nothing. There's the laser autofocus and the flashlight. And now the fingerprint scanner is it's just it doesn't push anymore. It's solid, so I like that. It's pretty fast, I would say. I think it's faster than the V30. So just just put my finger on 2, 3, 1. Yeah, so it's pretty fast. It also has the face unlock. Of course, it's not the iPhone type secure face unlock, but it's pretty fast. So I just show my face. You see? I'm gonna do that again. So I think it's faster than the V30. I like it. I like the new Google Assistant button. It's quite convenient when you don't want to be talking to your phone. Just quick tap and it will vibrate when the assistant is on, so you know when to speak. Like you know when the microphone is on. If you long press, it's like a walkie-talkie. You can talk to it like as long as you hold the button. How's the weather like in my area?
Currently in Targu, today there'll be showers with a fork.
Okay, so as you can see, you can easily just hold the button and talk to the phone. And it also has this, if you double tap on it, it goes into the Google Lens, actually. So you could tap on an object and shows you that it's a phone and stuff like that. So that's quite cool. Yeah, so that's pretty much about the body of the phone. The build is very solid. It's military 810 mil standard, military grade standard, dust, waterproof resistance. And yeah, it's pretty tough. My V30 was pretty much similar, and I dropped it a few times, possibly up to 10 times on all kinds of surfaces, and it never broke. The screen didn't crash. The glass on the back was fine. So I don't know if it's stronger than other phones or if this standard means anything. But I can say it's pretty tough. My V32 took a lot of beating, and it's still going strong. So yeah, I like that. Okay, the screen. The screen is not an OLED. Like I'm gonna compare this phone a lot to my V30 because that's what I used, and I bought this to replace it. So I'm doing my comparison here. So screen is beautiful. Colors are great. Sharp. Blacks are pretty black, even though it's not an OLED. But I don't know if I miss the OLED on the V30. Sometimes, yeah, but it's pretty bright and it has that boosted brightness. Goes to 1000 nits. So this is the max without the boost, which is pretty darn good. And now if I go to now it's boosted display. I can't even see it. I'm like my camera is having trouble picking up. It's too much light. It's very bright. It's very bright. You can keep it on boosted for like 3 minutes. You can easily read anything outside, like an email or anything. Yeah, but it doesn't go as bright. And when we watch YouTube, you have like a black band like left or something when you want to watch a movie or something. The YouTube, as you can see here, I can't show you on camera, but this band here, yeah, you could see it sometimes in the dark. And when you can watch it in full screen. Yeah, but I like it overall. I don't think I'll miss it over the OLED. So it's not so different as to say, oh, I have a much less beautiful screen or anything. It is beautiful. I like it. But again, the phone is very tall. I need to use two hands to reach the notification. So here. Other than that, it's typical LG fashion. It has this floating bar where you can add some contacts. You can take a GIF of the screen or GIF. You can select an area of the screen to capture it and put it in your gallery. Stuff like that. It's pretty useful. What I like about LG is still here. Double knock, double tap to wake and put the display to sleep. So I can use the fingerprint scanner, I can use Google Voice, I can use the double tap. It's very versatile as far as the opening and closing the phone is concerned. It's quite good. Performance has been pretty good. I would say that it's pretty much on par with my V30. Maybe it lags a bit sometimes. It's not lag, like it has like a 0.5 of a second thinking about what to do. But other than that, it's quite good. If I go into this, I can open like a double screen or something. It doesn't work with the camera. With anything else, let's see. I could open YouTube and Chrome at the same time. I can watch Chrome. I can watch YouTube and scroll on Chrome here. It has no problem with the memory. So yeah, I think performance is pretty well. Let's talk about the cameras. Cameras, yeah. So it has two on the back. I like that on the V30 they were like horizontal, now they're vertical. I think I was blocking it more easily with my finger, the one on this side. So I think I like the move. I think it's better that they put them vertically. Has a wide angle. I think it's the one on top, 16 megapixel f1.9. And the main one 16 megapixel 1.5 or 6 I guess, and shoots 60k 4k 60 fps. I just got an update September security patch. The 60 fps wasn't available, so now that's on. It's in the camera. So if I go to, let's see, settings here, I go to the camera, you see I have Ultra HD 60 fps. So yeah, that's definitely available, at least in my area. I usually keep it on 1980. So it has the normal and the wide lens. The wide lens is now much. It's a bit more reduced from 135 degrees to 107 or something, because it was creating too much fisheye, but it didn't bother me none. So yeah, so you have the Google Lens option, and now it has portrait mode, which you didn't have before, and the AI cam. The AI cam, as you know, like it tries to guess what you're pointing at, and then it just optimize it through software. Yeah, let me turn on the volume here a bit, because I turned it off. And speaking of the volume, let me just show you how that boombox sounds. Let me just go into the SoundCloud here app and just play some music. Just listen to this. Now look what happens when I place it down. It's going to be much louder. I wish it was like a stereo speaker. I have one on the top as well. It's sadly only this one on the bottom here. But it's quite loud and it's clear. Even at max volume you saw there's no distortion or anything, so I like that. But going back to the camera here, so camera is pretty good. I think the V30 takes a bit sharper photos. I compared a few photos, and when you zoom in on a computer, you can see that there's more detail in the background. Shutter speed is pretty slow. I see. Not that. It's not very slow, but it's a bit slower than when the V30 and other phones. Has like a laser autofocus, so let's see if it has any trouble focusing on this. I'll go with the main camera, so it knows right away where to focus on. If I turn on the AI cam, it's gonna try to guess what it's taking a photo of. Photos are pretty sharp. You see, right there was a little bit of lag. I pressed on the photo. Nothing happens. Oh, this is black. Okay. Where's my photos? Let me try and do a portrait mode. So if I want to focus on this guy here, blur the things in the back. Okay, so as you can see, it's pretty good at focusing on the subject and making that bokeh effect. I have a few other portraits I'm going to show you. Let me just check in my photos to show you a portrait. For example, see how well it went around the main subject. It makes pretty nice photos. Take a few, for example this one. You see how the background is blurred. And of course it keeps the manual modes for video and photo, the ones that we had in with the V30 and the other phones. So you can play with the focus and can change everything manually. Yeah. Lets me switch the focus from the one in the back to this one in the front. Change the ISO, the shutter speed. It's the same thing for video. You can even play with the sound settings and stuff like that. The noise. Autofocus again. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, so overall I'm pretty satisfied. Battery life, although it has only 3000 milliamps, it's not, I couldn't say it's a great battery life, but I think you can get through a full day with no problem. I even got like almost 6 hours plus on the screen on time, and I even took a screenshot just to show you guys here. But usually I get 4 to 5 hours of screen on time, which I think it's adequate for a battery this size. Yeah, I think it's decent. Yeah, look at this. I got almost 6.5 hours, and I was still 16% on the battery. So I don't always get this battery life, but it's usually good. And speaking of the camera, because I almost forgot, it finally has like a decent selfie camera. It compared to the V30, which had like a 5 megapixel, this is like an 8 megapixel. You can record 1080p 60 fps. V30 had a pretty bad selfie camera, so Yeah, overall I think I'm pretty satisfied with the phone. It's especially the fact that I only paid $500. It was launched at 850. So again, in typical LG fashion, prices drop considerably after launch. I like the always on display. It has the same functionality as on the V30. You can access the flashlight, you can play music, you can launch the camera, you can have like a few contacts. Yeah. Okay, thanks for watching. I think, I don't know, if you want to find out more about the phone, you can just drop a comment. So, see you guys in the next one.